Hi everyone, welcome back to Yoga in Real Life. Today we have a sequence that is all about the hips. We're going to get down and dirty with our hips, try to stretch everything out. This is going to be great for all levels. It's not going to be intense. We're not going to be trying to shoot our heart rate up or anything like that. It should be something that anyone can do who needs a little bit of help with the hips. Things you might need is you will potentially need a block. You could also do a hardcover book. And of course your mat. So when you have everything you need, go ahead and come meet me in a comfortable seat. As usual, you can take Sukhasana, which is the cross-legged pose, or Siddhasana, which is one leg in front of the other. And to get started, we're going to go ahead and just do some circles. So on an inhale, we're going to push our chest forward. And on an exhale, we're going to circle back and cave down, chin to chest. Inhale, forward arch. Exhale, cave, chin to chest. Inhale, arch. Exhale, down. Inhale. Exhale. Great, let's switch directions. This big circular motion feels really good on the spine, waking up the body. A little bit of side body stretch. And maybe, just maybe, you feel it in your hips. Let's do one more circle. Great job. We're going to go ahead and come over into tabletop position. So I want your wrists and hands underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. You're going to have a flat back to start, and then we're going to do cat-cows. So to do cow, you're going to go ahead and drop your stomach, your hips, lift your chest and your head. Inhale. Exhale, push it through and arch. So this is kind of adding on to what we were doing seated, just a more intense version. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round it back. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round it back. Great job. When you're ready, you're going to go ahead and walk your hands forward a little bit. Plant your toes, and you're going to lift your hips up and back into down dog. Let's go ahead and take a few minutes to settle into down dog. So go ahead and take your dog for a walk, bend one knee, then the other. Maybe spend some time with your knees extra bent to kind of get the feeling of the posture. In down dog, you always want to remember that you kind of want to look like an upside down triangle. So you want your shoulders and your ears in line with each other. You kind of want this straight and then straight back down, just like a triangle. Your heels, you want to actively be pushing to the ground. If they don't reach the mat, that's okay. There are days mine do, there are days they don't. Always feel free to bend your knees. There's nothing wrong with that. Great job. And then go ahead and take your right leg, and you're going to step it through and then drop your knee. This is runner's lunge. We're going to come up onto the knee. When we're doing this, I want you to think that your legs are scissors, or picture them as scissors. You want to be actively pulling them in together. You want the hips in line. You don't want to be dumping into one or the other. If you need some more stability, you are welcome to use a block here or the wall. You're welcome to have your hands on your knees. Or if you want to be close to the mat and do this, you can do that too. If you're more forward, you're going to get more of a hip flexor stretch. So it's whatever you're looking for today. And then we're going to go ahead and take it back, and you're going to lift your toes up, straighten your right leg. This is Hanumanasana prep, or half splits. Same thing as the other one. You want to make sure that your hips are squared off, they're even. And as soon as you do that, you'll feel the hamstring engage. This is a great hamstring stretch. Great job. We're going to go ahead and walk your right foot as wide as the yoga mat. Go ahead and bring the block or the book in front of you if you might. Try and see if you need it. You're going to put your hands on the block. So this is lizard. So this is a wider version of the runner's lunge. It's a little bit more intense, but it's kind of in a different way. If you would like, you can take your toes and your feet a little bit wider than the mat, or keep them at mat distance. Just stay up for this first round. Breathe into your lower body. Think about your hips, sending breath down. Great job. Go ahead and walk your knee to the back. and then push it back up, down dog. Great job. We're going to do the other side. So go ahead and step your left foot forward, come down into your runner's lunge. Same as the other side, make sure that your hips are even, pulling into each other, squared off. You're welcome to stay up or come down, depending on what kind of hip stretch you're looking for today. And then go ahead, straighten out this left leg, toes to the sky, half splits. Make sure to square off your hips, engage the hamstring. If at any point this is too much for your knee, you can go ahead and roll up the mat underneath your knee to give some extra support, or you're welcome to add a blanket under your knee. Take what works for you today. This is your practice. And then when you're ready, go ahead and walk your left foot out, come on down into lizard. Use a block if you want to bring the earth up to you. Sending the breath down to your hips. Great, go ahead and walk your knee back. Pause in tabletop and then push it back into down dog. Great job, you guys. We're going to do that on each side one more time. So when you're ready, go ahead and step your right foot forward, runner's lunge, drop the knee. Either come up or stay low, but make sure your hips are even and squared off. Never stop breathing. Breath is the most important part of yoga. Go ahead and sit it back, pop the toes up, straighten the leg, hamstring. Square off the hips. And then go ahead and walk your right foot as wide as the yoga mat and come on down. If you are a seasoned yogi or perhaps your hips are just especially open, you can go ahead and try to come down onto the block or the mat on your elbows. This is one of the fuller variations of lizard. It's totally up to you. If that's too much, come back up here. We're not here to hurt yourself or force yourself into poses you're not comfortable with. We're just here to get a good stretch. Awesome. Walk the knees back, pause in tabletop, and then push it back up into down dog. Go ahead, step the left foot forward, runner's lunge, drop the knee. Either come up or stay with your hands on the mat. Breathe in deeply. Go ahead, straighten your leg, put your toes up. Half splits, Hanumanasana prep. Make sure your hips are even and squared off towards the front of your mat. Great job. Walk your left foot out, come into lizard. If you tried the other variation on the other side, go ahead and try it here. Try to come down onto your forearms. If you didn't, that's totally fine. You want to make sure you do the same thing on both sides. You always want the body to be even. Great job. Step your knee back, pause in tabletop, move the block, push it up, down dog. Notice how your hips feel. They should start to feel a little bit different, maybe a little bit more open and relaxed. We're going to go ahead and walk the right knee up to meet the right wrist. We're going to lay the foot down at a 90-degree angle. If that's not working for you, you can go ahead and bring the foot in a little bit closer and tuck it in. This is pigeon pose. So with pigeon pose, it's the same as the others. You want to make sure that your hips are squared off. You're welcome to stay up here, or you can come down onto your forearms or onto a block. The other variation you have is you can take this reclined. So if pigeon is not in your practice or just not possible today, you can go ahead and cross your right leg over your left knee. Put your hands through behind and grab your left hamstring and pull your right leg in. Either variation is great. Take what works for you today. We're going to be here for a few breaths, so make sure you settle in. Be breathing down into your hips. You are also welcome to add a block underneath your right hip for some extra support. Great job. Go ahead and lean and sit down onto your right hip. You're going to swing your left foot around and stack them on top. This is called fire logs. So your left leg is going to be a 90-degree angle on top of your right leg. Your left foot is on top of your right knee. Left knee on top of your right foot. Flex both your feet, protect the knees. Go ahead and sit up straight and try to lean forward and place your elbows on your knee and your foot. If that's too much for you today, go ahead and stay up. You're also welcome to walk your hands out. It gives you a little bit more sensation, but still not the full effect if that's too much for you. When I first started doing yoga many years ago, this was the best I could do. My hips would not open any more than that. And now on most days, I can bring them all the way down. So it's all about practice, perseverance. Your body will get there. Few more breaths. You should really feel this in the left outside of your hip. Great job. Go ahead and make your way back to down dog. You can pause on tabletop on the way. We're going to do the other side. So go ahead and step your left knee up to your left wrist, right foot to the right wrist. Flex your foot, protect the knee. Make sure your hips are squared off and even, and then you're welcome to stay up like you did on the other side or come down. You are also still able to take the laying down version, so figure 8, figure 4, it's a figure 4. Whatever works for you today. Pigeon is one of those things that people hate it or love it. I'm a lover of it. I love opening my hips. It's one of my favorite things to do. A lot of people aren't like that. They really don't like pigeon. And that's okay. Yoga has something for everyone. And you don't have to like everything. There are tons of poses and sequences I do not like, but I recognize their usefulness, so I persevere. One more breath here. Make sure you're sending your breath down to your hips. And on an inhale, go ahead, walk your hands up. Sit down onto your left hip and swing your right leg around. Coming into fire logs. So this time your right foot is on your left knee, flexed. Never forget to flex. Go ahead, start by sitting up straight, and then either walk it out, stay where you are, or bring your elbows to your knee and your foot to give some extra pressure. I'm sure you can see this side is a lot more open than my other side. That's just how life is sometimes. We're not perfect. We're not exactly even on both sides. So usually there will be one side of your body that's slightly more open than the other. That's okay. Great job. Go ahead and walk it back up. Come into straight spine. We're going to go ahead and unwind your legs, and we're going to bring the palms of our feet together to touch. Baddha Konasana, cobbler's pose. Some people call it butterfly pose. You're going to have your hands on your ankles, chest slightly arched, reaching forward, sit up straight. And then go ahead and walk it out and lay on top. You are welcome to grab your block, put it on your feet, and have your forehead rest on the block. You are also welcome to extend your feet a little bit further, have a little bit more space, so that it's a little bit easier to fold on over. Take what works for you today. It's not about getting into the craziest version of the pose. It's about what works for you. Palms can be open up towards the sky, back and round. Two more breaths here. Great job. Go ahead and walk your hands back up. Remove the block, and we're gonna go ahead and make our way to our mat. The best way to do this is kind of lay down on either side of your body, prop down on your arm, and then roll back to your back. We're gonna do happy baby pose. You are welcome to use a strap if you need it. How you're gonna do this is first you're gonna bring your knees in, and then you're gonna extend your feet up so that your feet as if they were walking on the ceiling. Then you are going to grab either the outside of your feet, your big toe, your ankles, or this is where you can get your strap, and you can use your strap to bring your feet down closer to you, either one leg or both legs. And go ahead and settle in. You want your lower back to be flush with the mat, so flat on the mat. You want your legs at 90-degree angles. Your shoulders should be grounding down. You should be actively trying to pull your feet and your knees down to you. Again, this isn't like a power pose. You're not trying to like yank it as hard as you can. You just kind of want to use a little bit more than gravity. Kind of aid gravity in pulling it down. Two more breaths. Great job. Go ahead, set your feet flat on the mat. We're going to take a few windshield wipers, kind of counter pose for our lower back. So you're just going to drop the knees to the right and to the left, whatever speed works for you. Just do this a couple times. It just kind of opens up that lower back, relaxes it down. And when you're ready, we're going to come into Savasana, corpse pose, the most important yoga pose. You're going to extend your legs out wide, let them fall open. Your palms will be open up to the sky at the side of your body. Go ahead and lift your chest, tuck your shoulder blades underneath, and slightly tuck your chin. Let everything you just did absorb in. Let the rest go. Relax the muscles of your face. Let everything go that you can. Go ahead, start wiggling out your fingers and toes. Bring sensation back to the body. And when you're ready, go ahead and pull your knees up. Roll to either side, come into a fetal position. So prop your head on your arm, have your other arm, palm planted on the ground, knees up. Take a few breaths here. And when you're ready, go ahead and use your hands. Push yourself up into a seated position. Go ahead, bring your hands to heart center. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that your hips feel a little bit more open. And with your hips, I hope that you feel a little bit more open. Thank you so much for joining me. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and hopefully I will see you again on our mats. If you would like, go ahead, raise your thumbs to your third eye. right between your eyebrows. The light in me honors and bows to the light in you. Namaste.